2.3 ellipse, part 2. We need to do at least one more example and talk about one more vocabulary word today. Example. Find the center, foci, vertices, for 4x squared plus 9y squared minus 40x plus 36y plus 100 equals 0. Then graph it. All right. If you want to call this the general form of an ellipse, that's fine. It's not in standard form, just like we did with the circle. Now, the first step with the circle was that we had to make sure that the x squared and y squared were plane x squared and y squares. Well, since the x squared and y squared are different here, you can't quite do that right away. What we're going to do is we're going to group all of the x's together and all of the y's together, just like we did with the circle. So we have 4x squared minus 40x, and then we have plus 9y squared plus 36y, and then we want the number to put on the other side. So we are going to complete the square just like we did with the circle. The problem is that we need a plane x squared and plane y squared to do that. So here's how we're going to approach that. We're going to factor out of the x whatever number is in front of the x squared. So 4. We're going to factor it out. So that becomes x. So we're going to put our quantity squared in there. Actually, let me write that a little bit more to the left. I need some room. Quantity squared. Does everybody understand it? Just factored out of 4. We're going to do the same thing for y. So we're going to factor out a 9. Y squared plus 36 divided by 9? 4. Plus a quantity squared. Now, when we add the quantity squareds on the right, see that 4 we pulled out? We have to include that over here. And I ran out of room anyway. Plus 9 times quantity squared. So the 4 and the 9 that we factored out, we have to put on the right side also. That's the only difference. Instead of dividing immediately, we have to approach it this way. Now we complete the square just like we completed the circle. Take half of negative 10, we get negative 5. Half of 4 is 2. Negative 5, 2. So we have 4 times x minus 5 squared plus 9 times y plus 2 squared equals whatever that is on the right side. So we'll calculate that. I'm getting 36. Now, the ellipse, the right side has to be equal to what? 1. So we're going to divide everything by whatever's on the right. Four over 36 is 1/9. 9 over 36 is 1/4. And we now have the equation in standard form. We have to put it in standard form to find all the parts. Now it turns into a problem that we did for homework yesterday. We can describe the center, 5, negative 2. We can now find A and B. A squared is 9. B squared is 4. So A equals plus or minus 3. B equals plus or minus 2. Might as well find C while we're here. C squared equals A squared minus B squared, right? That's so we can find the foci. C squared equals 9 minus 4, or 5. So C equals plus or minus the square root of 5. All right, let's start drawing the picture. We can do that anyway. We have center of 5, negative 2. We're going to use A and B to find the vertices. A is the major axis, right? A squared is always under the major axis, so it's going to be x. So we're going to add 3 to the x. Subtract 3. So 5 minus 3 is going to be the point 2, negative 2. Adding 3, 8, negative 2. So that's our major axis vertices. We're going to add, subtract 2 to the y. So we end up with 5, 0, and 5, 4. So what's that?
Negative.
I'm sorry, yes, negative. So the vertices, we can just list them all at one time, are going to be 2, negative 2, 8, negative 2. Those are the major. Minor is going to be 5, 0, and 5, negative 4. All we have left to find are the foci. The foci are always on the major axis. The major axis is the axis that has a larger number underneath it, so we're going to add and subtract to the x. So from the center, 5, negative 2, we're going to add and subtract our c value to x. So 5 plus or minus the square root of 5, comma negative 2. Let's get some decimal on that. So our foci are going to be 7.236, comma negative 2, and 2.764, comma negative 2. Okay, I think we found everything. We listed the center earlier. Center is way back up here. So we put it in standard form. We found all of its parts. Are there any questions? Very similar to what we did yesterday after you put it in standard form. All right. One vocabulary word I just want to introduce to you. They may describe this in homework tonight. I'll make sure I spell it right. eccentricity of the ellipse or a hyperbola or a parabola, I believe they each have their own. It's a measure that describes the shape of an ellipse. Now here's the bad part. It's little e. That's the actual letter e, not the number e. I know we just got done with logs, exponentials. So eccentricity, little e, is simply equal to c over a. C over a. So that might be something they give us to try to find an equation. They might say the eccentricity of the ellipse is this. So if you know the eccentricity, you will know what c and a are. And then what could we find? What's the only thing left we need to know? B. If we know B, then we'll know all the parts. We'll know the entire equation. We can find everything if we have A, B, and C. So I just wanted to describe that to you. Gives you C over A if they give that to you in the homework tonight. Are there any questions?